Hello and welcome back. We have got to the end of Picard Season 3, the final season. And oh, it did not disappoint. And the rumours weren't true for once, which was nice. So we're going to go into it, the build up, and I'm going to keep this really spoiler free. So that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Now, seeing the cast together was amazing, and seeing kind of everything happen in the way that it did was amazing. It felt like a true Star Trek series. They brought back some of the body horror elements as well. I mean, this isn't too much of a spoiler, but the Borg are terrifying, and the Borg Queen is this grotesque monster, and it's amazing. The original Borg Queen, the one that we know, what's left of her, anyway. The story intertwines so beautifully with the past. It references a lot of past events. It references a lot of past characters. It was nice seeing a few cameos from people, including Tuvok, and the evolution of Seven was fantastic. Now, Jack Crusher, Beverly Crusher, Jean-Luc Picard's son, is fundamentally very important, and that just worked. There was no way around it. It worked. His story, the events from when Picard was assimilated, weave into now, and I won't say too much, but it's quite important. The Federation end up, well, they're not on the good side at the moment, and then the Changelings as well, which, that's my one gripe. The Changeling liquefying effect is gross, and I don't know what it is about it, but I prefer the original. They could have just replicated that in a new effect rather than something that looks like something a dog would puke up. That kind of made my skin crawl a little bit, but I'm weird with texture. The writing was fantastic. Oh, the writing. This went to some really dark places, and seeing the TNG Enterprise again, that we all know and love so well, was spectacular. They even lit the set. The lighting on that set was more akin to the original, so it's nice and well lit, unlike a lot of the series that's very dark. The Titan is there, and just seeing this genuine chemistry between those cast and those characters, it was so well done, and seeing a huge payoff. Now, in the very last episode, at the end, there is a cameo. Very small, but sequel bait. And I hope we get something. I think that would be really interesting to see. And revisit Jack as a character, because I think he would be quite useful. You have this well-rounded, experienced cast. Seeing Tuvok again was fantastic. Knowing where these characters are, catching up with them, and each one gets a time to shine, including bioorganic Data. That's a bit of a spoiler, I apologize, but it's interesting seeing that and seeing Data come full circle, see Beverly come see everyone come full circle to the point where these characters not only felt familiar, but they felt like a natural evolution. The first season was kind of weak, but I did enjoy it. I'm probably in the minority here. I liked the first two seasons, despite how flawed they were, and Will Wheaton showing up. But that's a whole different discussion. I don't like Will Wheaton as a rule. I just don't. But these characters, how it was done, how it was framed, bringing everyone in and just bringing the story to a very epic, big conclusion. And obviously new special effects, HD effects, seeing some flashbacks to First Contact, and some older episodes, and seeing Star Trek come full circle. We've had a really bad run of Star Trek. Discovery was a dog's dinner of a television show. I'm enjoying Strange New Worlds, but I have issues. But again, first season syndrome, let's be real. There isn't a good first season of any Trek, barring the original series. And I think that's kind of a universal rule. On the other side of it, this feels natural. It feels like a sequel, and seeing little cameos from things from Kirk's Enterprise to the Voyager, the USS Voyager, even the refitted NX-01 was there. It little, but it was in a shot. And it was just this nostalgia, definitely nostalgia, but the nostalgia was used in an intelligent and smart way. It didn't feel like let's throw in as many references as possible. It felt like this is a natural evolution of the story, the characters, where they're going. I kind of wish we got a Janeway cameo. I want to see Seven and Janeway reunite. I don't know if that will ever happen, but that would be cool. I mean, I was surprised, and just to see these events and everything unfold the way it did, it came to this big epic conclusion, and it was so genuinely well done. Now, special effects wise, this was beautiful. Like, out of every single season, I would say this is the best looking of the current Treks, just in terms of CGI, the effects, the beautiful wide shots. There is a shot of the Enterprise somewhere that's really quite spectacular in the last episode, which if I tell you about it will give too much away. But it came to this conclusion, and it felt powerful. It felt hard-hitting. It felt well delivered. And to see some classic locations, to see the events unfold the way they did, and to see the return of the Borg, who did kind of get neutered. And yes, you have the good Borg, but that's a whole different story. But this Borg, this is the original Borg, what's left of them. And it's implied the collective is not, it's so big, it's not in the best condition. And seeing what was left of the Borg Queen, and having the original actress back to voice her, was genuinely terrifying. And I mean that. It was spooky. It was ambient. It made those hairs on the back of your neck stand up. And it made it scary again. And having the Borg were genuinely terrifying. And they stopped becoming scary. And now the natural conclusion of this story, of explaining why Picard could still hear the Borg and so on, just, I was blown away. And coming out of it, I sat there with my mouth open thinking, this is epic. And I want to do a full discussion video, but the problem is it will give too much away, and I don't want to give any spoilers to this. This was phenomenal. Watch it yourself. Sit down. Get some popcorn. I don't like popcorn. Popcorn is gross, but get whatever snack you want and binge this season. You don't actually really have to know what happened in season 1 and 2. Although, by now you'll know about Data's, air quotes, death in season 2. Complicated, but it will make sense later. And there's also a little cameo from the body of Captain Kirk, which was a surprise. A 5 out of 5 season. Absolutely epic. And a return to form for Star Trek. So tell me what you think in the comments below.